Good morning. Thank you for joining us. This service is being recorded for September 20th of the year 2020. I will ask you, as you wish, to join me in chanting the Juseige. I will then deliver a Dharma message. Namo Ita Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namo Ita Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Busatsu, Daimuryo, Jukyo, Juseige, Gagon Sho, Thegan, Hishimu, Jodo, Shigan, Hu, Mandoku, Theifujo, Shogak, Gao, Muryoko, Uidai, Theishu, Futhai, Sho, Bingu, Theifujo, Shogak, Gashijo, Bundo, Myoshoto, Jippo, Kukyomi, Shomon, Theifujo, Shogak, Ryokujin, Shonen, Joeshu, Bongyo, Shigumu, Jodo, Isho, Tenin, Shi, Jinriki and Daiko, Ushomu Thaido, Shoujo San Kumyo, Kothai Shu Yakunan, Kaihichi Eigen, Meshi Kon Moan, Hei Sokusho Akudo, Tu datten shumon, kotojo manzoku, iyoro jippo, nichigatten shujuki, tenko onfugen, ishu kai hodo, koseiku dokuho, jo dai shuchu, Seppo shishiku, kuyo ithaya button, kusokushu tokuhon, ganne shinjoman, tokui sangayo, nyobutmu gechi, tudatmi husho, gangaku eriki, Toshi sai shoson, shiganya koka, daisen no kando, koku sho tenin tochin myoke. Namandabu, 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 Namandabu. Ganiya shikudoku, Byodo sei isai, Don no nai shin onyo an ra koku. Namandabu, 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 namomita butsu. Namanda Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Good morning. Again, thank you for joining us for this service being recorded for Sunday, September 20th of the year 2020. Last week was our fall Ohigan service, and I spoke a little longer then than I will today. And as usual last week, I built the Dharma message for that service around the topics of the Six Paramitas, the six fundamental perfections of Buddhist living. Now, allow me to again mention those. Allow me to repeat that list of six meritorious ways of behaving and focus a little bit on the second. But those six foundational virtues of Buddhist living are, firstly, dana, giving, unselfish giving. Secondly, Sila, wholesome conduct. That's what we're going to be talking about at greater length today. Sila, wholesome conduct. Kshanti, patience, endurance. Virya, vigorous effort, serious endeavor. The fifth, the perfection of Buddhist living, dhyana, I translate as coming to composure in body, mind, and emotional life. And the sixth paramita, prajna, wisdom, insight. Now, when ministers discuss these paramitas, these six energy-giving ways of living, we tend to focus on the first and the sixth, the first being giving and the sixth being wisdom. There are good reasons for this emphasis. However, as I mentioned, today I want to focus a bit on the second. The second of the traditional list of Buddhist hoped-for accomplishments is wholesome conduct. And wholesome is a translation of the term kusala, Pali, and the idea is that it nurtures our well-being and our freedom, and it nurtures the well-being and the freedom of others. This is what is wholesome, that which makes us freer, healthier, and happier while helping others to be free, healthy, and happy. Our concerns in modern society include a concern with how to conduct ourselves. An anxiety about how to behave in this life is real, and this is an important matter. Other religions, many of them, most of them, tell you that there are good actions and that this is good to do and that's wrong to do. The rules of conduct are presented pretty much context-free by the older non-Buddhist religions in general. The Buddhist religion recognizes that some actions can be positive in one context and very negative in another. In the Western tradition, the philosopher Immanuel Kant, a very, very influential 18th century thinker, he was raised as a Lutheran, and he claimed that it is wrong under any circumstances to lie, no matter what, never lie. I'm not going to tell you that. Try not to lie too many times this hour. Context is crucial to the morality of an action. Imagine this scenario. You're at the Hill Street restaurant in La Cañada, and a young woman, a young blonde woman looking quite frantic, runs through the restaurant to the back of the restroom. A few minutes later, a large, agitated man carrying a knife comes in and says, "Did a blonde woman just walk in here?" I'm going to lie. I say, "No, nobody's come in. You're the first person to walk through this door in the last half hour." There's a time and a context for most things. Context is crucial to the morality of an action. Once we place our need to act in a very specific context, we take our challenge in a fleshed out context, our choice will be clearer, but not always very clear. Our choice will be less confusing, but still sometimes confusing and difficult, even when we contextualize it. What is a small matter in one context, though, can be of major impact in another. Imagine 6 or 8 months ago, how important was the question, should I go to the store and buy some milk this morning? I mean, it couldn't be anything less important, right? 8 months ago. Currently, this question raises several related questions. How many times have I gone shopping already this month? Should I wear vinyl gloves? Do we really need milk today? The whole context is different, where the number of contacts we have with unknown persons is dangerous. We still want to keep those contacts down as much as we can. What was once a very small matter to decide, should I go shopping today, is now something requiring some thought and decision. The fact that most actions could be good or bad, wholesome or unwholesome, when the surrounding causes and conditions vary, does not change the other fact, that it is crucial how we comport ourselves. The background causes and conditions which surround our actions currently are quite challenging. Fires up and down the West Coast and elsewhere, protests against oppressive racist policing, bad actors turning up at those protests, dangerous. A pandemic that is not going away right away. Any of you see what Bill Gates said yesterday? His estimate is things will be relatively back to normal in another 2 years. 2 full years of heavy restrictions. That's what Bill Gates is guessing. He's pretty bright. He's not a doctor, but he's smart. Even the simplest decision becomes hard, right? Should I exercise today? Well, not outside. Right now, currently on the West Coast, there are 2 kinds of air, bad and worse. So no, don't exercise outside. Avoid strenuous action outside if you can. Should I pick up, one thing I'm thinking today, should I pick up my prescription? I called in a prescription yesterday. It's, I got like 5 more of these little pills, warfarin, to get me through the end of the week. I don't need them today. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to wait to pick up my prescription until next Tuesday because I'm going to want to buy some groceries that day. Cut my trips outside the house, encountering others, from 2 down to 1. That's how I'm thinking these days. What do we do? What should we do? Every little thing requires thought and reflection. What about the protests against police violence against non-white citizens? What should I do? What should you do? What should we do? For the time being, all I am doing is I'm reading about these people, and each day I'm remembering somebody. I spent one day thinking about George Floyd, one day thinking about Breonna Taylor. I read about their lives. I hope for a better deal for them in the future. That is just possible, that we may have new lives opening out in the future. But today I chose to remember Elijah McClain. He's the same person I was thinking of yesterday and the day before. I just can't let go of him and move on. It's just too sad. That case is too sad for me. I'm still remembering and intending good and hoping for good for Elijah McClain. Maybe next week I'll be ready to move on and remember and honor another victim of our violent society with its harsh view of the work of policing. Does remembering, respecting, and caring about these people do any good? It is what I have to do. That's what I find out for myself. I don't know if it'll do any good. I don't know what is right. I usually do know when there's something I have to do. I have to do this. I have to think about Elijah McClain today. He should still be with us. He was a valuable person. I'm not going to tell you about his life. You can read that for yourself. Conduct is important. Conducting ourselves in a wholesome, decent way is important. We may be able to change our society for the better if we will each endeavor to conduct ourselves as decent, kindly, mutually supportive persons. Will this really help? I don't know. What else is there for us to do? Please do take care of yourselves and others. Please do remember the victims of senseless violence. Beware of the victims of your own violent words, my violent words. Remember Elijah McClain. I won't tell you his story. Look it up if you don't know about him. He was one of the good, kind, valuable people who was killed recently for no good reason. This happened on our watch. I cannot do nothing. It cannot continue to happen. Shall we commit to being nonviolent? Can we resolve to conduct ourselves decently? with some real concern for others. This is important. How we behave in this life matters. This is what I have to say to you today. In the fall, the week after our Huigan service, we talk about the energizing behaviors, the positive ways of Buddhist living. And today I just wanted to focus on the most simple of them all, conducting ourselves decently and in a kind, compassionate way. As best we can, shall we not do so? I will close the Dharma message portion of the service and actually close the service for this morning. I will ask those of you who are of a mind to join me in closing Gassho, as we say, Gassho being a posture of respect, putting the hands together. Those who wish to, please join me in saying the Buddha's name a few times. We rely upon the source of limitless wisdom and endless life. Namo Amida Butsu, 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 Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much.